Hello students, this is week number 3 and we are here to discuss process of vocational guidance in our lecture number 3. You are well aware we are talking about the guidance and counseling. This is the main course in which we are studying. There are certain highlights of this lecture which we will discuss with you today. First of all, we will introduce the topic and then we will try to understand stages of vocational guidance. There are 6 stages of vocational guidance, and first stage is self-assessment, exploration of options, decision making, preparation and implementation, role of the vocational guidance counselor, and placement and follow-up, and then we will conclude our lecture. Let us start with our discussion with introduction. We have learned in previous lecture about the vocational guidance and its characteristic features as well as the objectives of the vocational guidance. So, vocational guidance process typically involves understanding oneself, understanding careers, and then integrating the two to make informed decisions. This is the basic steps of the vocational guidance. We are basically analyzing the individual personality and we are analyzing the characteristic features of the various jobs which are available in our market, and then we are making interconnection with that. Abilities and capabilities are being correlated with the requirement of the job, and finally the students are taking their options and making the selection. So process can be broken down in several stages, including self-assessment, career exploration, decision making, and planning for the future actions. Let us understand the stages of the vocational guidance. How in what stages the process of vocational guidance takes place. And the number 1 is self-assessment. Then we explore the options, we engage in decision making, and we prepare and implement, and then we analyze the role of the vocational guidance counselor in it, and finally we will discuss the placement and follow-up. Let us analyze all these steps and the stages of vocational guidance in a more elaborative form. When we are talking about the self-assessment, it means we are talking about the understanding different levels of education and understanding interest and abilities, identifying strength and weaknesses, and we are also trying to assess the level of the intelligence, health and physical status of the student, personality characteristics, socio-economic background, and other important factors. So, let us understand what is the meaning of the understanding different levels of education. Different occupations and the professions require different level of education. So, individual needs differing levels of education in order to enter and succeed in different professions. All the professions are in need of the different types of the education or the levels of education. So, higher education is required for some certain professions and professional education is required for some other professions. Technical education is needed for technical levels of jobs, and diplomas and skill education for some other areas. So, different levels of education are there. We need to understand different levels of the education in order to understand self-assessment. Second aspect of it, understanding interest and attitudes. So, interest helps to increase the possibility of success in profession. Interesting work is done enthusiastically and patiently. If students are given opportunity to work in their chosen occupations, in their chosen subjects, definitely they will perform with high kind of motivation, and more enthusiasm will be reflected in their temperament. Similarly, success in any particular profession seems to depend on to great extent upon one's aptitude for it. As I told you in my previous lecture, aptitude is very important, and that knowledge must be made available to the students and to their parents for taking any decisions or providing guidance to the students, more particularly the vocational guidance to the students. So aptitude is basically a raw material, and we have to provide opportunity to develop that by diverting the students to that occupations or the professions. So it is another important aspect of the self-assessment. Hence, knowledge of personal aptitudes is also essential before any vocational guidance can be rendered. These are the basic requirements. Identifying strengths and weaknesses. All students are having their own abilities and the capabilities. They have their varying different strengths as well as weaknesses. Some are good in listening, others are in spoken, some are good in creativity, and others are able to concentrate on convergent thinking. So, recognizing both areas of strength and areas of weaknesses that may require development for further training is crucial for informed decision making. So when we are rendering vocational guidance, we need to understand or identify the strength areas of the students and the weaknesses areas of the students, so that we can use the strength for better opportunities and work on the weaknesses by giving certain remedial measures or some interventions in that area. Without this knowledge, the vocational guidance is not possible in true sense. Levels of intelligence. Intelligence sets the limit. It sets the limit. You cannot achieve beyond your intelligence level. No one can in this world achieve that level. So, besides different types of education which is needed for entering in the different occupations, different professions require different levels of intelligence. There are occupations where high level of intelligence is needed, and there are many professions and the occupations where average intelligence students can do better, and opportunities for the slow learners are also quite obvious as far as the different occupational and the vocational areas are concerned. So high intelligence students may be directed by the guidance counselor for higher education and the conduction of the researches. And it is generally said that the average intelligence student may excel in professional courses. However, low intelligence students may enter in vocational courses. So we need to analyze the self concept and aspiration level of the students in the light of their intelligence. We cannot expect from low IQ level students to engage in higher education and do miracle in the research or any innovations. That will be a false expectations, because intelligence sets the limit of the achievement of the student. So this must be made clear to all the students and to the parents and a member of the society. Intelligence of the student play a very significant role in academic achievement and overall personality of the students. So next is physical health and status. All the students are not having the same physical health and the stamina and the ability to work for longer period of the time. And all professions require different physical health status. Therefore, students need to be guided as per physical status of the candidate. And it will be possible only if we are evaluating the physical health status of our student. There are different professions and areas where physical health can be instrumental in guiding students for appropriate choices. If a person is not able to do for longer period of the work and longs in that, therefore he or she should not be given assistance in going to the occupational areas where long sittings are required. So another characteristic features or self-evaluation is basically personality characteristic features. Innumerable aspects of the individual personality are there, and different qualities of the personality are required in such widely separated professions as teaching, artistic creation, conventional counseling, management, and medical professions. So, different qualities suits to the different occupational needs and requirement. So, it is essential that self-appraisal in regard to personality types and traits is highly essential. Let me clear this point to you. Okay, there are major three types of the personality possessed by the individual. Although there are other types of the personality also, but broadly speaking, we can categorize the individual or the students into three broad categories. Extrovert, who are having the ability of social engagement, collaboration, and the team spirit, and on the other hand, we have the introvert. So, introvert is not a negative characteristic feature, rather introvert are able to concentrate for longer period of the time, and they are supposed to be the innovators and the academicians in their future life. And there are students who demonstrate both characteristics of the both. They are equally extrovert and they are equally introvert. So personality characteristic features should also be considered while we are providing vocational guidance to our students. Socio-economic status of the family exercises significant influence on the aspiration and motivation level of the students. The people who are coming from low socio-economic status generally exhibit low self-esteem and so low motivation level. Their aspiration level may be false in some cases. They are either having the high aspiration or demonstrating the low aspiration level, which doesn't suit to their temperament or intellectual or physical characteristic features. They may demonstrate inferiority complex despite having sufficient knowledge background. They have the knowledge, they know, they have certain skills, but that is not reflected in their performance and in day-to-day activities. There are some other important characteristic features which we need to identify before giving guidance, vocational guidance to the students. Rural and urban backgrounds also decides our choices. Our cultural backgrounds at many occasions influences our personality, and we are supposed to demonstrate certain interest in certain areas and rather than some other areas. So cultural variations are also influential factor in making our decisions of occupations or the professions. Quality of previous knowledge or previous education obtained is one of the aspects, because that education basically is the foundation and that can be used profitably in guiding the student to their chosen areas. Medium of education at the school and university level also makes a difference. If any student who has entered higher education level after completing his school education in Hindi or any regional languages, and when he or she enters in higher education level, he or she is bound to face difficulty in excelling in that. Communication problem solving skills, they may be different among different individuals, and collaboration and creative skills are also quite different, and they are not distributed equally among all the students population. So we are coming to the second aspect. We have discussed all these points under the self-assessment. Self-assessment means assessment of the individual. Once we have done the self-assessment or assessment of the individual, the second aspect which is very important, that is the exploration of options. Okay, what options are available for the students in the job market? And we will discuss under three subheadings: researching careers, gathering information, and adequate networking. So, what is researching careers? Once self-assessment is complete, individuals explore various career options that align their interest and abilities. This may include researching different job roles, required qualifications, and career progression opportunities. So, after having self-appraisal, the students are assisted to correlate these interests and abilities with the opportunities available in the market. So, we need to search out different jobs and needed qualification to enter in that job, and what kind of preparation will be needed, or what kind of skills will be needed to make progress in that career. So, researching career is also very important. We need to explore the careers in the job markets. And students, because of their lack of knowledge, lack of experiences, are not in a position to explore. That is why the vocational guidance counselor is assisting in him by providing knowledge of that. Gathering information. This steps involves gathering detailed information about specific careers. Once you have shortlisted the careers, now you are getting the detailed information about that. Through informational interviews, you are conducting the informational interviews, job shadowing, internship, and industry visits. So, gathering information is possible by adopting a number of methods. Whatever methods suits to you, you can use that method in collecting the information or gathering the information, so that adequate information about the job is highly essential and make a perfect or informed decisions in that. Networking is also very important. Career networking is the process of building and maintaining professional relationship to gain career advice, job opportunities, and exchange resources and information. It involves connecting with people both online and in person, being a good listener, and providing value to others. A strong network can advance career through mutually beneficial connections. Networking is also very important. Process of building and maintaining professional relationship. It is called we are having the relationship with the professionals who are working in the different field, and we are making the networking in order to get knowledge related to that career. So, connecting with professional in chosen fields can provide valuable insights into the realities of the job and the industries. Students are not aware about what is going on in the instant industries. Their first target is to receive education in educational institutions. They are not having the first-hand knowledge of the working conditions and the job market. They are not even aware about the jobs. So, we need to enhance this networking, and there is a procedure for that also. In almost all the educational institutions, we are inviting the people, professionals, and we are giving the opportunity to interact with the student, and we are making the visits to the industrial places where, or educational institution where this kind of knowledge can be gained. And the third aspect is related to the decision making. After self-analysis, after exploring the knowledge of the careers, the third step is the decision making. Narrowing down choices. Make a detailed exploration for that. When you are making the decision, that narrow down choices. Evaluating options are also available and making informed choices. These are the three steps. Narrowing down choices involves reducing a large number of options to a smaller, more manageable list by identifying and eliminating what is less important, suitable, or necessary, and eliminate unimportant or less important or the areas where you are showing less interest and concentrate on few of them. Based on their information gathered, individuals narrow down their options to a few promising career paths. Definitely, the students cannot demonstrate interest in almost all the areas. When they are given exploration opportunities, then they select few among the long list, evaluating options. Now, the third step is evaluate the options. It is a process of assessing different choices to select the best one by comparing their benefits and the risk against a specific criteria. The positives and the negatives of all the options can be discussed. The short listed of options, again we are making a thorough investigation on it and analyzing it from different point of view, evaluating their negatives and the positive, and are assisting ourselves and assisting to our student in making the decision. These steps involves weighing the pros and cons of each option, considering factors like job satisfaction, whether it will provide you job satisfaction, what is the work-life balance, condition of work-life balancing, or long-term goals related to that options, making informed choices. After having these three steps, now the students are in a position to take better choices. So making informed decisions means choosing based on thorough research and facts rather than instinct and alone. What you want, that is not needed. Rather, what is best for you, that is needed. And to achieve better outcomes by weighing risk and benefits. And this process involves clearly defining the problems, gathering all relevant information, identifying and evaluating all available options, making a choice that aligns with goals, interest, and finally reviewing the outcome to learn from experiences. This stage is the final stage where individual is getting ready to make informed choices because he has thoroughly explored the option, make a list, evaluate each and every options, and he or she is in a position to take. Another step is preparation and implementation. Whatever decision you have made, you have to implement that, and for that we need to develop the skills and creating a plan, seeking support if needed, and review and adjust. Let us analyze these steps. So developing skills involves a continuous process of acquiring knowledge and enhancing abilities through practice, learning careers, learning resources, and mentorship to meet career goals and personal growth. Key steps include setting smart goals, means choosing relevant skills such as communication, problem solving, identifying appropriate learning resources like online courses or certification, and consistently practicing to improve proficiency. It is develop the efficiency because the success of engaging in any occupation or profession largely depends upon the type of skills which you learn and demonstrate in that work environment. Individuals may need to acquire specific skills or qualifications through education, training programs, or apprenticeships to prepare for their chosen careers. Now, creating a plan. This involves creating a detailed plan of action, including timeliness, resources, and potential backup plans into a various steps. So, active planning is also very important. A detailed plan of action. Okay, in what time we will implement this program, what resources will be available, what potential backup plans will be needed in order to implement the plan, that is creating a plan. And when we are implementing the plan, definitely we need support to make it a successful implementation. So ongoing support for career counselors, mentors, or support network is crucial during implementation phase. Ongoing support from career counselors, mentors, or support network is crucial. So we have to take the support of each and everybody who is associated to the guidance and counseling team in order to implement that program, because students need assistance in their implementation. Review and adjust in chosen vocation refers to process of regularly evaluating your professional path and making intentional changes to ensure it still aligns with your goals, values, and skills. Review is also very important. A vocation is not just a job, it is calling that provides meaning and purpose. You have entered to solve certain purpose, and certain meanings are associated to every occupation. Since the needs of the professional world are always changing, a proactive approach is necessary for long-term career satisfaction and success. So review and adjust is also very important. Role of vocational guidance counselors. We need to facilitate self-understanding and career exploration. This is something related to the role of vocational guidance counselor. Okay, it facilitates self-understanding and allows the student to explore the career options available in the job market. And it also provides information about different careers and educational pathways in a detailed manner, in a systematic manner, and this information is disseminated to the student for better use. There are many process for disseminating this information which the guidance counselor provide to the students. Assist with decision making and planning. Students are bound to face difficulty in making decisions. How they will be able to use this information, how they will be able to correlate their inherent capacities with the requirement characteristic features of the job. For that person, for that kind of the task or that kind of the decision making, the assistance on the part of the vocational guidance is highly significant. It offers support and guidance throughout the process. The task of the guidance counselor or the vocational counselor is not completed in a one go. He has to ensure that at every stage, wherever the students are facing difficulty, he must be available for assistance of any kind, whatever the students are in need of that. Because ultimately, he or she has to ensure the objective of the vocational guidance, and for that, one has to carry on the assistance throughout the life of the students. Helps individuals develop self-awareness and life skills for career management. It is also very important that students must be made aware. They should be given guidance that their characteristic features are significant. They must know their personality, and they should also learn life skills, communication, collaboration, problem solving skill, and cultural competency skills, and skill in managing the careers also. Placement and follow up is the next, probably it is the last step. Placement is the process of helping individuals find the right opportunities based on their interest and abilities, such as selecting courses for securing a job. Follow up is the subsequent process of monitoring their progress to ensure they are adjusting well, providing feedback to improve services, and helping them make further adjustment as needed. This is after the placement. Students are found to face many difficulties, so we need to implement the follow-up program for that also. In some cases, definitely, vocational guidance may involve assisting individuals with job placement and provide follow-up support to ensure a smooth transition into the chosen areas. Let us conclude our lecture. Better vocational planning depends upon three aspects. As I discussed in the beginning, I am concluding that in the end of my lecture: self-knowledge, occupational opportunities available, and perfect matching personal assets with the requirement of the vocation. This is the third stage, which is very important, and here the support of the counselor is needed, because students are not able to correlate their characteristic features and or like interest, abilities, and the capabilities with the requirement of the jobs, and the task is achieved through a series of steps planned by the expert and professionally trained counselors. I told you in one lecture that professional counselors are needed to provide the support, because we are guiding the student for their future. If we are providing wrong guidance to the student, then it can spoil the life of the student. So selection of vocation in this way is considered as realistic choice. If you are doing vocational guidance in a planned manner, analyzing the students about their characteristic features and exploring the job opportunities and making an interaction between these two aspects, then it is considered as realistic choice, which is expected to be worthwhile for both individual and the society. So this kind of selection will be helpful for the student and helpful for the society. With this, we have completed our lecture. Thank you very much for your patience listening. God bless you.